Welcome back to the show. I appreciate you being here, and as always in today's episode, we will do what we do most of the time on this channel, and that is we look at UFO videos that are currently going viral, that are exploding all over the internet, and that keep people puzzled, and we try to give them a level-headed approach, try to explain them, maybe debunk them. I have two clips for you guys today. They're really cool, really exciting, and they've been shared with me by you guys. And if you want to do the same, if you got a clip where you're like, I don't know what this really is, then please join our Discord. The link is in the description. It's obviously free. I'm hanging out there. Loads of other people are hanging out there. And that's the place where you can share your clips with me that you want me to look at, that you want me to debunk. I'm not giving you a guarantee that I will debunk them in the show, but if they are somewhat mysterious and visually appealing and curious and have people puzzled, then they might make it onto the show, and I will share my 5 cents, 2 cents, whatever people say, on those clips. Let's get into the first clip, but before we do it, don't forget to smash the like button and consider sharing this show with your friends, okay? If you have other friends that are enjoying UFOs and mysterious stories being debunked, being explained, then consider sharing this channel and maybe this episode with some of your friends. I would appreciate that. Let's get into the first clip. Now, this one was filmed over France, and the city is called Martigues. Meticulous French skills. Now, this event has been filmed from 3 different angles. So the whole video is 3 minutes in length, and that's because the guy has edited all these 3 angles that exist of this event into one long video. We're going to play it at double speed, but the tweet shared by Daily UFO describes this film as, what's the fascinating part about it, that it turns on its axis before flying off. Beautiful footage. All right, let's take a look. So again, I'm going to put the playback speed to 2. Okay, double the speed. So just so you're aware, this is not regular speed. This is double speed of the footage. It would usually be a half as slow as what you see here. So we see this cluster of light, and all these lights seem to be connected. Do you see what I mean? We see lots of footage like that actually recently. More and more videos are coming out where we see a cluster of light moving in synchronicity in the sky. Here is another angle, right? So this is the same event over the same city, just filmed by someone else, but it shows, allegedly at least, the exact same thing. So again, here all these lights, the singular lights, melt into one object, so it almost looks like a disc shape. Keep in mind, I'm not sure I said it, this footage is from 2014. So I think we can somewhat exclude drones. It's not impossible. I'm not saying drones did not exist at all at the time, but it's unlikely, right? In 2014, drones were less of a thing. I think also the footage has no audio at all. So what is it? What could this be? I think we can also somewhat rule out CGI here as well, as we are moving into the next recording here. And this is the last recording again of the exact same event. And you can almost see like one of those lights, one of these spheres almost detaching here. What's curious is that it seems to hover, right? It seems to hover in the exact right position. But then at some point, as you see it now, it tilts and then flies off. And now you can really see that there's one light that is just disconnected from the rest of the cluster. It almost looks like a stingray or something, right? You see what I mean? You have the main body here and then like a tail or something. It's really curious footage. How many lights is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then one behind makes it 9. So very cool footage. Again, it's a little bit older, 10 years at this point, 2014. So probably not CGI, probably not drones. What could it be? Now, my initial response was it has to be drones, right? Because they're traveling in synchronicity, and we're so used to seeing this footage nowadays of like drones flying in these huge clusters, even making these really complex shapes in the sky. Again, why is it hovering in one spot here? Well, to be honest with you, there's a pretty clear explanation for what this is. And what we do on this show, in case you don't know, as I'm describing this, you can go down in the comments and you can theorize, right? I want you to have a guess almost what we're looking at here. Leave your comment, ideally before I say what it is or what I think it is, and then we can see if you got it right. Okay, so put it down now, go down, say now what you want to say in the comments, but I'm going to reveal now what we're looking at here. So the easy explanation for what we are looking at here is that it is the French aerobatics team training. And the reason why you see one light being kind of tagging behind there, right? In the last footage we saw it as it was drifting off. And again, keep in mind, this is double the speed, okay? So normally it's, maybe I'll play this at regular speed just so you guys get an idea. This is regular speed. And you see one light tagging behind there, right? Why would that be the case? Well, what's interesting is, and I didn't know this as well, this light, it's a separate plane, and it's called the chaser. And what the chaser does is it flies behind the formation to give the team live audio feedback about the consistency of their formation. So they might say, okay, you know, the plane on the right, come in slightly more. So they try to keep a perfectly geometrical pattern of these planes. So that's why they have one plane flying behind, tagging along to give them live feedback of what's currently going on. Because obviously when you're in this constellation with all these planes, you don't really understand like how it looks and whether everyone is in the perfect right position. So that's the reason why we see this light tagging behind. Here's an image of that exact team, and you can see they're flying a very similar formation here. Obviously these planes have lights on them, so you would see them just in the way that we saw them here. And the reason why it looks like they're hovering over the city is because in that moment they were flying directly towards the camera. The bright lights were all melting into one disc-shaped object, and then obviously as they are turning, it looks like they're breaking apart into that formation, and then you see the single lights, and it all kind of starts to make sense. Now, they are based in Salon de Provence, and that is literally like, what, 30, 40 kilometers away from Martigues, okay? I'm so good at pronouncing these things in French. It's amazing. So that's what it is. I love the footage, though. I think it looks really cool. It had me puzzled for a minute when I saw it for the first time, but I will give it a strong and... Now, this clip has really been making the rounds on the internet recently. I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on Reddit, I've seen it on a few platforms. And everyone is like speculating what it might be, because it does show this triangular craft hovering next to a tree line, next to what seems to be like a forest, slowly spinning around. And it's really intriguing footage. Let's take a look. And you can imagine the top comment under a video like that: TR3B, it's a TR3B, TR3B party. Everyone obviously knows that the TR3B is a real thing, and at least in the comments, okay, UFO believers, they all know it's a real thing. By the way, if you're actually curious about the story of the TR3B and whether it's real, check the video in the description. I have covered it in a video in the past, talked about the feasibility of it. Is it real? Investigated the whole phenomenon of the TR3B. So check it out. So here we see this object slowly spinning around, right? It has lights on the side. It's clearly triangular. Now it seems to be slowing down slightly, right? Very good quality. This is great footage. Like, for the first time, it's not potato footage. This is actually great quality. And when I saw it for the first time, I was like, it's a little bit too good to be true. Do you know what I mean? It just looks too real. The tree line looks absolutely perfect. The object itself is crisp. We can see a lot of detail on it. So what's going on here? What could this possibly be? People are speculating that it's just outside of Quebec, based on the dog's accent. There he is. This is actual footage of that dog in the video. One thing that is curious about this footage is, why did the guy stop filming? If you see something like this, surely you would never stop filming. And I mean, this footage is like just a minute long. Surely you would wait until the object leaves or moves or does something else. You want to capture anything, right? You wouldn't switch off your phone recording this or your camera before the object is actually gone. And TR3B pilot in the comments on Reddit actually makes exactly this point. It says, well, that's because the departure is the hardest part to fake. And that is actually true. Whenever we see footage of faked UFOs, they look somewhat convincing until they disappear, until they take off, right? That's the part that always looks fake, that looks off. So that's already an indicator. It gives us a bit of a hint. But I mean, to just say, well, it's CGI, it's got to be CGI. Anyone can claim that, right? Is it though? How can we prove whether it is CGI? Well, we can, because this footage has been uploaded and shared by a Russian visual effects artist. Okay, his channel is called Andrei Turkonovets. My Russian is not as good as my French. But he shared this footage in 4K and at 60 frames per second, and he puts the tag CGI behind it, making clear that it's just CGI. But of course, the UFO believer community doesn't care. They still reshare it, they crop it. They're like, oh my God, it's TR3B, TR3B. Now, what's interesting is that if you check his channel, he does have other CGI work on there. And most famously, this famous video, I don't know if you saw this like really took off like I saw it about 4 or 5 years ago, of this ball lightning caught near a railway. And at that point I saw, and I was like, this has to be real, right? Because he's not claiming that this is aliens or whatever. He just said this is basically a ball lightning, a very rare phenomenon that is real. But this is him faking this as well. So he has the skills. He's pretty good at it, because this stuff, in my opinion, looks somewhat convincing. But it's confirmed that this is not real. This is not aliens. It is just CGI. And now that we know it, I mean, you can kind of see it. To be honest with you, I think the actual footage of the tree line is real. I think it's a real film that he recorded somewhere. Then he just put this object into it. And especially when he zooms in, it's always easy to say, well, it kind of looks fake, because it does look fake. But then again, do we know how alien ships really look? So what is real, what is fake? But it does look not great. The windows along the edge, I don't know, man. It gave me a hiccup immediately, but then again, it's always easy to say, well, it's CGI, but if you can't prove it. Well, here's the evidence. It is CGI. Follow Andrei Turkonovets on his YouTube channel. I'll link this video down in the description so you can give him a follow. I'm sure he will have other cool CGI-based, paranormal, and unexplained somewhat UFO videos coming out in the future. I can't wait to see them because this is cool stuff. I really like it. And I appreciate that he kind of tricks the UFO believer community into sharing this, confusing everyone that they're here and that disclosure is just around the corner. Guys, it's just around the corner now. It's coming up. Next stop, disclosure since 30 years. So that's it for today, guys. Just a short video. I hope you enjoyed those two cases and they left you a little bit puzzled as I was, and then hopefully we could make sense of them. If you disagree with some of my assessments, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, feel free to share the channel, smash the like button, subscribe, join our Discord, and maybe give my gaming channel a sub, okay? The link is in the description. That would be greatly appreciated. It's new and we have very little subscribers. It's a sad story, but I like video games. So please subscribe to Monkey Games. The link to that is in the description as well. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and I'm out.